expect not only for tonight, but also the next couple of nights and even a look ahead into this weekend, as it is a big one when it comes to college football here in western Montana with the Brawl of the Wild as the Bobcats of Montana State travel to Missoula to take on the Grizzlies. But before that, we'll go through what we can expect for tonight, and we'll go from there. I'm going to flip this around, show you the current look at radar, and show you some of that moisture that's starting to roll in. We've got a weak system that's going to slide into our region later on tonight. And when I say later on tonight, it's already starting to do so, but the core of it's going to move in a little bit later this evening. But if you can give me about 30 seconds to a minute, I'll make sure all my ducks are in a row back here behind the scenes, and we'll get started in this update in full here in just a few minutes. We're working there, and we are working there. So looks like everything's working here behind the scenes. So I say let's get rolling with this, and I'll try and make it relatively quick, but thanks for tuning in and spending a little bit of your evening with me. And if you have any questions or comments as we go throughout this update, feel free to ask those in the chat section. I'll try and keep an eye on those as they come in. I'll answer them the best that I can. So as we take live looks across the area, for the most part, it's quiet or cloudy with just a few light showers out there. We've got those temperatures after highs this afternoon in the upper 30s or upper 40s and 50s. We've seen those start to cool back down. No surprise now that we are well beyond sunset. Currently 39 in Kalispell, 43 in Butte, 44 in Bozeman, and 46 in Missoula. Winds right now less than 10 miles per hour across the entirety of the area, and I think that should continue to be the case as we head throughout the night. So going into a look at radar, we can see southwesterly flow in this wide look across the region, and all of this moisture relatively light in nature, but that's what we're going to be focusing on as the storm system further off to the north, this one up here into parts of Alberta, you see that spin there, drags this moisture on the back side of it, and you can see another little system back here starting to dive in from the north and west, and we're going to see an increase in moisture primarily up here across northwest Montana. But if I stop this, I'll show you where some of those showers are focused right now. We have two main areas. This first one of light activity stretching from the central and southern Bitterroot from Hamilton, I'll say Victor, down to Hamilton, Darby, north and east from there. A few light showers here towards Phillipsburg, Deer Lodge, the Avon and Elliston areas, as well as a few closer into Drummond. Again, not expecting much in the way of impact from these, especially outside of our higher elevations where we could see a little bit of snow later on this evening. And then we get into batch number 2, which is relatively light activity, but we have some of this closer to the Heron and Noxon areas, a few showers towards Trout Creek. These are going to be crossing over to Highway 28 here closer to the Hot Springs, Nirada, Lone Pine areas, then across into Elmo, areas just to the north of Polson, and right around Flathead Lake, so Rollins, Summers, Lakeside, and then across over to Big Fork. Some light showers are going to be falling. Right now in our valleys, this is all rain. A few light showers here moving into Kalispell as well and into Whitefish. It isn't until you get above, say, 3,500 feet that we see those snow levels are sitting right now, 4,500 feet, but those will be falling down to around 3,500 feet as we go into the overnight period. So a few snowflakes can't be ruled out mixing into places like Kalispell, Columbia Falls, Lakeside as we go later on tonight. Again, not expecting valley impacts outside of wet roads and potentially some reduced visibility due to the fog, but from a snow perspective, not expecting much. Even places like Marias Pass, I don't think we're going to be seeing too much in the way of issues, at least for the short term. So going into Future Tracker, as we start around 11 o'clock this evening, it's Future Tracker's underdone up in the activity in northwest Montana. It has been all day, so I think we'll see a little bit more rain and snow into parts of northwest Montana, but it has done a good job on the southern mode of this, down towards the Bitterroot Valley and then east towards places like Avon, Elliston, Phillipsburg, Deer Lodge, Butte. And I think that's going to be a big focus as we head throughout the night. We'll see more of that moisture rolling through. Could see maybe some light accumulations up towards Homestake Pass and then down into the northwest parts of Beaverhead County. Something we'll keep a close eye on. And depending on how much cool air gets in, maybe some of this snowfall does reach places like Darby. But I think that's going to be a lower likelihood as compared to farther to the north, where there's a bit more cold air in place. Now, this shower activity will continue to move off to the east. This is looking around 7 a.m., so again, primary focus will be down in southwest Montana, Butte, Dillon, Three Forks, Manhattan. Could see a few rain showers, maybe even a little bit of snow trying to mix into tomorrow morning. Bozeman, few spotty showers as we get closer into lunch based on this particular forecast model, but I think all morning you'll have the chance for a few spotty showers. Those will continue into the afternoon. This is at 4 o'clock. The showers pretty isolated in nature down in southwest Montana and northwest and west central portions of the state. We're starting to see some clearing, maybe even a little sunshine as we finish off the day, as we get just before sunset tomorrow afternoon. But overall, the trend will be a diminishing one on the activity. And as we get into Wednesday evening, outside of a few showers, maybe down here right along the state line in the higher elevations, we should be looking at clearing skies into Thursday morning. Now, as for those forecasted temperatures tonight, we're going to see those in the upper 20s and lower 30s for most of the region. Our cool spots, Seeley Lake and West Yellowstone at 26 degrees. But in these areas where you're seeing these temperatures, 29 to 31 degrees, a few little snowflakes can't be ruled out mixing in with the rain, depending on how those showers move through your area. So not going to be surprised for a few snowflakes, but like I was saying before, little to no impact is expected to travel tonight. Outside of those showers, we're looking at mostly cloudy skies tonight. We're going to be pretty cloudy as we start the day tomorrow, those showers continuing down into southwest Montana. But as we get later on into the afternoon and evening, we'll slowly see those skies clearing. We're looking at high temperatures in the 40s across the state. 47 for Libby and Thompson Falls, 48 in Dillon are warm spots, at least here in the state. And then as we look towards Bozeman, Missoula, 46 degrees, and 43 for Kalispell and Butte. Again, the evening will finally start to likely clear out down into southwest Montana. And that's thanks to high pressure building. As that does so, though, fog will be an increasing issue. We could see some pretty dense fog as we head into tomorrow morning, especially areas that aren't dealing with the moisture moving through. And even with that, with how light it should be, I don't know if we're going to see too much of that causing impacts to fog development. Most likely areas will be places like the Missoula, Bitterroot, Mission Valleys for tonight, though even places into southwest Montana, we're going to see that likely increasing as we head into Thursday. So I think for Wednesday, it's primarily a northwest, west central Montana issue. As we get into Thursday and Friday, we'll see really all of the area in our valleys at least have the chance for some potentially dense fog. We'll see that slowly start to diminish in coverage as we head into Saturday, as that next storm system moves in and starts to mix up the atmosphere just a little bit. But with the fog, if you happen to run into any of those patches, especially closer to rivers, ponds, lakes, we could see visibility quickly reduced down to about a half mile or so. And if that happens, certainly take it slow. Give plenty of space between you and the vehicles in front of you. Use your low beams. And also just in general, tomorrow morning and over the next few mornings, give yourself a little bit of extra time for that morning commute, especially if you are traveling through fog-prone areas, as we could see that visibility again reduced pretty quickly in a short distance. So certainly be aware of that the next few days. Now, with that ridge of high pressure building in late tomorrow into Thursday and Friday, we're going to see those rain and snow chances very low. It isn't until we get into Saturday and Sunday we start to see those increasing, and I think the main focus at this point will be for areas west of the Divide, and you'll see that here on our regional travel tracker. This is looking into I'm getting my days mixed up. Friday evening, I should specify. We're quiet through Friday. This is Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, and good news for the Brawl of the Wild here in Missoula. We're going to be looking right now just at mostly cloudy conditions. Should be a quiet weather day when it comes to that football game, so weather should not be a problem as things stand right now. Of course, that can change with the timing of the system. We've got a few more days to watch it, but at least as of right now, we should be in pretty good shape for the big game on Saturday. It's as we get into Saturday night and Sunday, we start seeing that moisture filter into primarily northwest Montana. This could lead to some accumulating snowfall over some of our passes, specifically looking at Lookout and Marias Pass, where a lot of the moisture seems to be locked up and held in place. As we get into Sunday, this is Sunday morning, we'll see some more of that into Sunday evening as well, but models have been trending back on the amount of moisture as we head into this weekend. But still, I think the potential is there for some light snowfall, maybe some slushy accumulations, especially for Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, and into Monday morning. So that could be problematic for any fans that are traveling out of Missoula, heading, say, back west into parts of Idaho or even towards Spokane. There could be at least some issues over Lookout Pass, but overall the trend has been a downward trend with the amount of moisture that's in place. So that'll be one we keep a close eye on. But like I mentioned, there's still going to be the potential for some snowfall accumulations over our passes. Those snow levels dropping down to around 5,000 feet as we head into this weekend, but the atmospheric river that's going to trigger that seems to be lifting a little further north, and it's really not as active as prior forecasts were showing. I don't think we're going to escape the wet weather, though, as we head into Monday and Tuesday. There's still a lot of question marks with this particular system. How much cold air is in place? How strong does this come through? This one will give us at least the chance for some more scattered activity, especially northwest, west central Montana. More of our passes along the state line and along the divide could see some travel impacts. I think this one has a higher likelihood of some accumulating snowfall into Monday afternoon, Monday evening, and then Tuesday morning. But this particular forecast model moves that system out pretty quick, just leaving some scattered showers into Tuesday afternoon. But some of the forecast models are indicating a bit of a pattern shift, in the sense that we're going to be heading to colder and wetter conditions as we head closer into Thanksgiving. And this Monday-Tuesday storm system is kind of the primer or the trigger for that to happen. So I'll use Bozeman as an example. We're going to see temperatures falling as long as this forecast stands, going from Monday temperatures near 50 degrees down to a high of 37 degrees as we head into Tuesday, and those overnight lows falling down into the teens across the state. So there's going to be a lot to watch for as we head later on into this weekend, through the weekend, because next week, again, it's Thanksgiving. We're going to see a lot of travel before the holiday, and the timing of what may come through may not be particularly great, but there's still a lot of forecast discrepancies with a lot of the different models. But in general, we're going to see those snow levels falling as we head into next week. And here's a look at that. They're going to be up around, say, 4,000 to 5,000 feet all the way through the weekend. Once we get beyond Wednesday morning, we'll see those start to rise. That atmospheric river essentially warms up the atmosphere as we head into Sunday and Monday. And even this forecast model is showing even warmer temperatures, bringing those snow levels above pass level into Monday. So that'll be one to watch. But then there's a sharp cold front. You see that dropping all the way down below 1,000 feet. So all the way down through valley floors. So anything that does fall as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday, whatever moisture is still left, will likely be falling as snow, including for our valleys. And here's a look at the temperature outlook for the 8 to 14 day period. We're going to see that initial cool down about 7 days from now, bringing those temperatures below average, but there are greater and greater indications as we go from Thanksgiving into the first week of December of a much cooler or much colder system moving in, bringing temperatures, maybe even 5 to 10 degrees below average, with highs in the 20s and 30s, something we'll keep a close eye on. But with that, we're also looking at potentially some above average precipitation. And with this time of the year, and we see those temperatures below average, which the average is right around the 40-degree mark, it doesn't take a whole lot to start talking about more significant snow, or at least the potential for more significant impacts to travel and things of that nature. So this is, again, looking 8 to 14 days, 1 to 2 weeks out. But in general, it does look like we are finally heading more into our typical, what I'd say, mid to late November pattern, We're just having it hit a little bit later. We've been very mild so far through the month, but that likely will be changing as we head towards the end of this month in early December. And I think at that point, then it'll be all hands on, all hands on deck for winter weather across the region, not only just for our mountains and our passes, but down into our valleys as well. So that's pretty much everything that I had for this evening's update. If you have any questions or comments, this is sort of the last call. Here's another look at that precipitation forecast once we get closer to Thanksgiving and beyond, and then the temperature forecast kind of matching up, bringing at least the likelihood, or at least a higher likelihood of some snowfall into the area, or a wintry mix of some sort. That could create some impacts over our passes, but with these 8 to 14 day forecasts, a lot of things can change in a very quick hurry. So take this all with a grain of salt, but I did want to show and point this out, that we could see that change in the forecast over the next, again, 1 to 2 weeks. Once we get beyond this slightly warmer period, but still some light mountain snowfall, and maybe even a little bit of valley snowfall as we head into tonight and tomorrow morning. Northwest and southwest Montana will be the primary focus for those showers, especially once we get beyond midnight tonight. West central Montana, I think for tonight, the biggest issue will be fog for our valleys, and then as we get into tomorrow night, Thursday morning, Friday, we're going to see greater likelihoods of fog just due to the high pressure ridge that's going to be in place, the moisture we've seen the last few days, and those cooler temperatures. This is kind of like a perfect combination for fog developing, specifically radiation fog that we tend to see this time of year across western Montana. One other issue, and this comes to the temperatures, we should still be above average for the next few days, but depending on how much fog we see, how the low clouds set up, we could see those inversions start to strengthen up as we get into Thursday and Friday, which may limit those temperatures. Most areas should be in the 40s as we get to the end of this week, but there is the potential if the low clouds and the fog are sticking around, they don't break up, our valleys get locked in those inversions, and we may not even see temperatures exiting the 30s. That's just going to be a watch and see as we go over the next couple of days. But keep that in the back of your mind. That may be a possibility. So overall, once we get past tonight and tomorrow morning, or tonight and tomorrow early afternoon, I should say, we'll be looking at much quieter weather until we get to at least Friday. And based on some of the forecast models I'm seeing, it may not even get more active until we get to Sunday morning for northwest and west central Montana. But that timing's still a little bit in flux, and we'll certainly keep a close eye on it, and we'll keep you informed as to what that forecast changes over the next few days. But for football fans, again, just a good reminder, right now it looks like Brawl of the Wild, Montana, hosting Montana State, we should be looking pretty good on that forecast with those temperatures in the 40s with just cloudy skies and relatively light winds as things stand right now. So thank you all for tuning in this evening. Have a great rest of your night. Have a great next couple of days. We will not have a live 10 o'clock broadcast tonight. We're being preempted because of basketball. That's why we had our special edition 7 o'clock show tonight. But tune in tomorrow morning, NBC Montana Today, with Jason Hurst and Chief Meteorologist Brooke Foster from 5 to 7 a.m. And then I'll be back for the live broadcasts tomorrow at 5, 6, and 10 with the latest forecast updates. And we'll have the latest news updates as well. So have a great evening. Thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you all in the next one. With NBC Montana, I'm meteorologist Mitchell Coombs.